In this video, I'm going to show you how to land your first high ticket appointment setting client in the next 60 days, okay? But you do have to commit to this process because it's not an easy one. I will say it's simple, but it's something you do have to commit to. Now, there are a couple of main principles to follow here. So number one is you want to be patient. I don't care how hard this gets because it will get hard. I'm going to be honest. I mean, it's just going to get hard to get, to push through and to do what everybody doesn't want to do. But yeah, just be patient because great things take time. And that is the truth. If you're in business and you want to be in business for the long run, I mean, you're going to have to suck it up and keep going until it works. Number two is I want you to understand the principle of being different. If you do what 99% of what everyone is already doing, you're going to get the same results they get. And that's not what we want, right? We want to become a 1% high ticket appointment setter. So yeah, be different. Don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone because ultimately that's where you see the most growth. There is no growth in comfort, as my mentor has told me once and has never left my brain. If you fail, good. Go fail again until it sticks. Now, this is just general business. Like, you're going to have to fail constantly over and over until you finally find something that works. And yeah, I mean, high ticket setting works. It works for me. I mean, it worked for me. I was a high ticket setter for a year and a half. And yeah, I have a ton of students who are in the high ticket setting game. They make a full-time income from it. And yeah, it's all really good, very easy and fast way to get your foot in the door, start making some money so you can expand later on. So at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to get past that 10K a month mark. And yeah, it's not necessarily only going to be with high ticket setting, but you're going to see how high ticket setting has a big part in it. Okay. So we're going to start off by learning the skill. You actually have to learn how to do the work, believe it or not. Now, there is a way to do this without experience. You can do this with a ton of free content on YouTube, or you can pay for training to essentially 10x the process and move with speed. So if that interests you, book in a call down below. You don't even want to watch this video. You'd rather have everything laid out exactly the way you need to do it, then yeah, cool. Let's chat. Just be ready to make an investment. But if not, I literally have a free course on my YouTube channel going over A to Z, the exact process, how to learn the skill set, what a real conversation looks like, and so on and so forth. But yeah, there's a ton of YouTube content on here. And to be honest, 99% of you already know how to do the work, I will say. If you've ever texted anybody, if you've ever had a conversation via Instagram DMs, then chances are you know how to ask a question and you know how to respond. If you know how to do those two things, then yeah, you can just have a brief overview of what you need to do and you're essentially good to go. Okay, so there's going to be two things that you're going to need to do here. Moving on to the next steps, you're going to need to learn who needs a high ticket appointment setter. So what business owner can benefit the most from plugging in a high ticket setter into their DMs and essentially buying back their time, and also where we can end up in a position where we can make the most amount of money, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. If we're not making money, we don't want to be in that opportunity. So you can see here, I literally made a video called Who Needs a High Ticket Appointment Setter, and I break down some of the key indicators that let you know this person can easily benefit from someone in their DMs packing out their calendar with qualified sales calls. Yeah, because we don't want to be paired up with somebody who's barely starting up their business, because it's just a waste of time, right? If somebody doesn't know what the hell they're doing, then we're not even going to know what to do, because we need opportunity to actually make money. And if somebody can't provide us with that, then we got to move on, all right? We've got to find those gold rush type of offers. And the other portion that you're going to want to do, and I'm going to put an arrow here just to make sure you know these are interconnected, is you're going to want to start networking. Now, this is going to be one of the bread and butters, you can call it. You want to build relationships with people before you start to ask, okay? Stop asking everybody, because you're just begging at that point. You're literally the equivalent of a homeless person at the side of the freeway, just sitting there with a sign, hoping somebody's going to give you a chance. I don't want you guys to do that, okay? And I have this screenshot here. You look it up on Google. It's pretty basic, and if I'm being honest, yeah, it's a pretty basic concept to understand. The who you know numbers, okay? This who you know should be all the motivation you need to learn how to leverage your network to get referred by someone. At the most desirable companies, the number is higher, with 95% landing jobs because of connections. And the same applies in this info product space and the coaching industry. The more people you know, the more opportunities are open to you. It's just a fact. I unfortunately did not make that rule. That's just the way the world works. And if I'm being honest, it doesn't even stop at business. That applies to everything. Like if you're trying to get into a football academy, like, well, I'm sure if you have a connection, somebody can vouch for you. I mean, your chances go up significantly higher, okay? And the way you're going to network, okay? I'll probably make a separate video and a separate full training on this as well. It's super simple, but you don't want to like let your interests and intentions get in the way of actually building a genuine relationship. You literally just want to try and speak with people in the industry, provide some value, some feedback, places where you think they can probably improve, or even just ask for advice in yourself, right? But if you go and message every single like business owner or closer or appointment setter, whatever, and you ask them, hey man, do you know somebody if they're looking for an appointment setter or anything like that? Like, you just sound like a beggar, right? So stop that. Commit to building relationships over the course of the next few weeks. Like, you'd be surprised. I know there's a lot of people out there that will tell you, hey man, I don't feel comfortable messaging somebody that has like 30,000 followers. I don't think they're going to see my message. Like, number one, you have to get out of your own head, because that is just a belief that, I don't know, came from somewhere. I personally never felt like that, but I do realize that some people do feel like that. Like, they feel a little bit distant from people, but you're one message away from connecting with somebody. And you see on Instagram, there's a literal message button. Like, they wouldn't have that there if you couldn't actually communicate with others. So yeah, I challenge you to develop relationships. Literally go out of your way to just be genuine, compliment their content, compliment the client results they have going, and do this over the course of a couple of weeks. You do this, you already immediately separate yourself from the people that are just asking away right off the bat. Hey man, like, do you need a copywriter? Like who the heck, why would I sign somebody like that, right? Why would I hire anybody that just asks me out of nowhere? Like, they have to build trust. They have to build a relationship with me. And the longer somebody invests in me, the more I want to invest in them, right? So their own growth and opportunity to make money with myself, etc., etc. We're going to move on to the next step. Sorry, I know I was kind of yapping there, but super important there. I can't even stress this. This one's going to be the one that is optional, but again, referring back to the principles, if you want to do what 99% of everyone is not doing, this is going to be it. And that's going to be making content and branding yourself. And I literally put PS, this is the secret sauce. Like, I'll bring it back to business. Me making these videos, I'm going to be completely transparent. My goal, one of the goals that I have is, number one, to provide really valuable content to you guys. And number two, because I make that valuable content, I want to build trust with everybody that's watching. And you should have the same mindset as somebody who's trying to partner up with, somebody who has their own business or become a high ticket appointment setter. You want somebody to trust you. And by far, one of the best ways to do that is literally making content. And if I'm being honest, like, there is a more a smarter approach that you can take with personal branding, but you can make any content. You can literally make any freaking content. Go on Instagram. I'm sure you guys see those videos of day one of trying to become an entrepreneur. Make a series of day one of trying to become a high ticket appointment setter. Like, but people will see that grind and they will immediately want to be a part of your story, right? Other than somebody that has zero posts, they have nothing on their profile. Their profile is still private, and their profile picture is like a mirror selfie. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be, something ridiculous. You don't want to end up in that umbrella. Separate yourself, okay? Because the more you do that, the more opportunities you're going to get, and the easier the opportunities are going to become to convert. So make that content, get out of your comfort zone. I know it's going to be freaking weird, but who cares? Go make a brand new account and just block everyone if that's what you need to do. I don't think you should do that, but if you have to do that, whatever. Now, you're going to do the next step through a couple different ways. You're going to land multiple interviews. Now, you're going to either do it by just reaching out to people, building those connections, and, just immediately gaining those interviews through them, or through the network that you started doing that you should have already invested a couple of weeks into, right? And, this can vary. It can take a week or two, maybe 3 weeks, doesn't matter, right? But I need you to network as much as possible, because the networking that you do will ultimately result in multiple interviews. And that just kind of comes across as like, once you get to the point where you feel it's comfortable enough to say like, yeah, man, by any chance, do you know anybody who needs a high ticket appointment setter? You don't have to directly ask them, but you can utilize their own network, and you can essentially like network arbitrage. I'm probably going to end up calling it. So you can kind of hijack somebody else's network. But again, make sure your intentions are good, still be genuine, and then just make sure you ask that question whenever that time comes. But the whole point is to start landing multiple interviews, right? You just want to ask once you've done the relationship building, not right off the bat, okay? The next step is to really just prepare as much as possible. Now, the best way you can prepare for an interview is to just do the utmost amount of research on the person that is interviewing you or the company, whatever. You want to know the offer and the marketing system like the back of your hand. So that way they already know right off the bat, you're ready to go, right? You're ready to go at a moment's notice. If they need you to start that day of the interview, you can start, and you want to make sure you express that. So yeah, watch their content, watch, VSLs if they have some, podcasts, whatever it is that you have to do, but you want to get familiar with the company and the offer like it's the back of your hand, like you're already working there essentially. And yeah, we're all here on the side. This really comes down to a few things. Do they like you? Do they trust you? And do they think that you can actually get results? Can you actually do the work, right? And I mean, the first two are very blatantly obvious how you can kind of overcome those. Do they like you? I mean, you just kind of have to learn how to just be a normal person, right? Don't be awkward. If you are like pretty introverted, then I highly recommend you go read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and then start. Might be a little bit of a read, but nonetheless, I think it's going to be a really good investment in yourself. Do they trust you? I mean, that's why you should be making the content, right? That's why you should have already done your training. You should have already looked at the YouTube trainings, my free course, whoever else's, but that's kind of how they're going to gain that trust from you. And that also kind of applies to the last one, right? Do they think you can do the work? And if you really need to, what you can do just to ultimately sell yourself is you can even tell them hey, if you're, kind of on the edge, I'd be more than happy to get started for a week, do it for free if I need to, just to prove that I can actually get the results that you're looking for. And if not, no hard feelings, we can just cut it there. And what do you think about that, right? But if you need to, right, you don't obviously want to go in there and immediately say that right off the bat. And being that you execute on all of this properly, you want to get results as soon and as fast as you possibly can. So if you need to feel like your head is, or there's a barrel. So if you need to feel like there's a barrel against your head, and if you don't get results, they're going to pull the trigger, then do it. Because the best thing you can do is to confirm that the business owner made a right decision. They made the correct decision. They know you're going to help them in the future. And I mean, the faster you can do it, the better, right? So just hit the ground running and put in that overtime if you have to. It's just going to help you with a lot of stuff. It's going to help you develop faster. It's going to help you gain more confidence quicker, and so on and so forth. And ultimately, if you are working a full-time job at the time, then your goal should be to quit it. I want you to go in the high ticket appointment setting role with the goal and the intention of leaving your 9-to-5, so you can just double down on it and essentially 2x your income with just high ticket appointment setting. And then from there, I mean, it's pretty simple. Just expand your skill set, right? You can get into copywriting or sales. It doesn't matter. I'll give you an example. Calum, he's one of the students inside of my program. He's doing about 2K right now. We still have 15 days left, so I think he might crack 3K. But yeah, he's just got into his dream role, and he's seeing a bunch of growth. He's making a ton of money very quickly, and he's already expanding his skill set. He's picking up on copywriting. That's the thing that they teach inside of that program. And eventually, he knows very confidently, we talked about it not too long ago, that he can go and land his own copywriting client once he feels comfortable enough with that skill set. But he's already expanding it, right? And so that's my point with high ticket appointment setting, is they can pay you really well, $200 a day, $4K a month at very minimum. And then on top of that, you can use it to start skill stacking. So if you get paired with a sales company or, a fitness offer, you start to learn and develop things about what it is to run a business. And then from then on, you make the leap, right? You start hitting these crazy numbers, because I guarantee you guys, Calum, in no time, once he gets started with the copywriting or whatever he decides to do, he's going to be making 10K plus at will every single month. Okay. Let me know what you guys thought of this video. I tried my best to just kind of frame it or leave the blueprint here. And this is a little bit of a rough overview, but nonetheless, this is exactly what you have to do. It's not hard. It's not complicated. It's just something that you have to commit to. And over time, if you do it correctly, you're going to land that dream role, and you could potentially get to the spot that I was in last year, where I made 11K in a single month with high ticket appointment setting. But all of these things were checked off. It was a really good offer. I knew, they had predictable lead flow coming to me. The person that I was working with wanted to see me grow, so I picked up on a lot of stuff like sales, marketing, how to make videos like this, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let me know what you guys thought of this video, and I will see you all in the next one.